Hello, and welcome to Jacobi's Talk of the Town. I'm Michael Jacobi, executive producer of Jazz on the Plaz here in Los Gatos and host of Raising the Standards on KSCO Radio Santa Cruz. Good to have you with us today, and I'm delighted to have an old friend and a new friend. We met years ago, the president and CEO of the San Jose Giants, Dan Orum. How are you, buddy?
Good, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here, and it's good to see you. As we were talking about a couple weeks ago, Roger Maltby was in that seat. And we had Kevin Youkilis, and as you said,
we're definitely going downhill from there. I'll try to hold up my end.
That's right.
It's a couple tough acts to follow.
You are no stranger to professional sports. Actually, all of you played professional basketball in France.
I did.
And this is totally cool. What was the name of the team?
Basket Club Franconville. Yes, I had a basketball scholarship to Nevada.
Right.
A couple years after that, I decided to get serious about education. I went to Davis and graduated. But then after I graduated, a few of my teammates had gone over to Europe to play, and they said, "Oh, you should come over here." And I thought, well, that sounds better than going to get
France?
a job.
Yeah, I can do that.
So I got a plane ticket, had a couple $100 in my pocket. Went to Brussels, Belgium, went to a tryout camp, and hooked on, got a contract to play in Franconville, which is about 20 miles north of Paris, France. So
now you hear about the European teams in Spain and Italy and the Ukraine, but I'm not aware of it. Is France? Is it a big basketball country?
It's very big, not like soccer, but. It's nationwide, and there's 5 divisions of basketball, but not at the level of Spain or places like that. But this was a while ago. I was in the late 70s, so it was still pretty in its infancy back then.
Well, you certainly know your way around baseball on a day-to-day basis. Let me ask you, of the 3 major sports, what is the biggest leap to the major leagues? Is it or to the pros? Is it basketball?
Well, I think just because of the sheer numbers, the basketball teams are smaller, and the turnover. I mean, you only have a handful of spots that get filled every year, and you have thousands of collegiate basketball players. So it's a pretty small funnel by the time you get to the top.
Did you grow up in Nevada?
No, I grew up in California. I was a native Californian. Was born in Berkeley. Okay. My grandmother ran a soda fountain on College Avenue, kind of kicked around there. And then when my mother married my dad, he was an ag teacher. We moved to the Valley and lived in the Valley most of my life.
Well, we have something else in common, is that a real good friend of mine, oddly enough, who's been on this show, Rich Kelly, who played for the Stanford team that you beat when you were at Nevada. Am I correct?
Thank you for reminding that.
Rich. We'll send Rich. We'll send you a clip of the show so you can deny it. He'll be back looking it up again. And Rich is one of the owners of the San Jose Giants.
Rich is one of the owners of the San Jose Giants. Yes,
great
he
guy.
is. Yeah, he's a great guy.
It's nice to do a show with someone who both of our heads are in the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
San Jose Giants, single A. And can you explain to the folks at home the difference?
Yeah, actually, we're considered high A.
Oh, okay.
Because there's 2 levels of A. Minor league baseball has 5 levels. There's rookie ball, short season, low A, advanced A, double A, triple A. And as you might suspect, a player needs to work his way up to the ranks.
And triple A is the one right below.
Triple A is right below the majors. Typically, triple A is guys that are just about ready to make the leap, or a bunch of guys who are never going to make the leap that have become career minor leaguers. Double A is where a lot of the talent exists, and that's considered kind of the toughest level because that's where all the good pitching is.
Well, I often think, in golf, you play golf? A little bit. Well,
poorly.
For instance, the difference between a 20 and a 15 handicap is one thing, but the difference between a 5 and a 0 is huge.
Right.
So that's kind of the same thing.
Well, it's interesting, like even at our level, the level of talent's not really that much different. The guys are throwing 95 and hitting it 450 feet. I mean, it's really the mental aspect of the game, and the jump from either high school or college where you're playing 40, 50 games to 140 games. The mental grind of baseball is really where it separates the men from the boys.
You have had, and if you've been down to Municipal Stadium, and if you haven't, folks, it is the best sports value.
Thank you.
Not even sports, entertainment value in the area. I mean, it's a great deal. Tickets are extremely reasonable. Food's great. And we were talking off the air that you are so close. I have sat there, and when a pitcher got shelled and they pulled him out, he was crying because he knew he had to go back to work in the pharmacy in Fresno. And I went, oh, this is too depressing. But I mean, you are right there, and it is Americana at its best.
It is. For those of the few that have never been there, Muni's this is our 76th year at that stadium. It was a WPA project back in the 40s. Was built for $20,000.
Really?
Back in the day, and it's still standing. It has its little aches and pains like old buildings do, but it's fun. You're right on top of the action. It's only 4,000 seats.
Now, not to go into a lot of detail on this, but there was talk a few years ago. Isn't there a rule that you can't have if the mother team has a team in the area, you can't bring another team in? There's some strange rule that
the baseball has territorial rights.
Yeah, okay. So you are owned by the Giants.
We're majority owned by the Giants, and the San Jose is actually in the San Francisco Giants territory, and the only reason we're allowed in is because they've given us permission to be there. That was a big part of the whole snafu when the A's tried to move down there. It was the Giants' territory. And that wouldn't make it possible. But we do that because the Giants allow us to, and it's a great place for them. We're 40 minutes away. I mean, Bobby Evans can pop in his car and come down and see a prospect and be home for dinner.
Well, it's cool when you think about it, particularly with the new Yankee Stadium and taking that stadium off the list. You've got Wrigley and Fenway and Dodger Stadium, and then probably you guys, right? At 73 years?
You mean as far as minor league?
Well, no, even in terms of baseball, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's some old minor league stadiums out there, yeah. But, by California standards, 76 years is a long time.
You got that right. You got that right. Let's talk for a second, because I want to give kudos to you and the staff and the product, not only that you put on the field, but the opportunity to give the folks in the seats. Talk a little bit about what folks can experience down there.
Well, I think the intimacy of it, as you brought up, you're right there. You can see all the action. It's such a small venue with so many kind of different things to do that I think families feel really comfortable letting their kids just sort of roam. And
it's not a lot of goofballs yelling.
No,
they're goofballs yelling, but they're cheering. But it's not like you go to a lot of stadiums with all the out of hand.
We do our own food. Yeah. When a lot of people come for the food, we're famous for our barbecue. Yeah. We just had Scott's Seafood come in this year, so we've got seafood.
And you got a Willow Street down there.
We have Willow Streets down there. And I think that there's activities for the kids. So I think people come for various reasons, but I think it's the relaxed atmosphere and the affordability.
Do you still have the pitching thing that tells you how fast you're throwing?
Oh, yeah.
You want to make money, and you know this. Stand out there and say, yeah, how fast? 80? Yeah, I'll bet you $20.
Not going to happen.
It's just, I threw the best shot of my life. I think it was 58.
Yeah, I know. It's you start thinking about, we always chastise a pitcher for throwing 80. It's like, try it sometime, folks. It's not that easy.
You have an interesting background. We talked about playing, 2 years in France?
2 years in France.
Was it cool?
Oh, well.
No, if you won a championship, you drink Bordeaux instead of champagne?
No, champagne.
Break out the Francois, we're going to party? Yeah.
It was fun. It was very much different than college because we only practiced twice a week and had one game a week. So I ended up actually getting a job in Paris to fill up my time.
What'd you do?
I taught I taught English at a business school in downtown Paris.
And did you speak French?
No, that was
See,
why
that
they,
always amazes me.
well, that was
people
what
that
they,
speak English, they can't talk to the people they're speaking to.
well, that was why they hired me, because they don't want people speaking French. They want people, so if I didn't know French, I learned while I was there, but I'm sure it was not grammatically correct, and I learned a lot of cuss words for sure.
Good, you got that down. After we take a break, we're going to talk a little bit more about a very interesting background. I think it'll surprise some folks. But in a few words, the state of the game is better than ever, would you say?
Yes, absolutely. I think it is. You know, I think it went through a rough spot with the steroids and things, and I think that baseball had a reality check to kind of get cleaned up there. But the stadiums and the experience and the level of play has never been as good, and I think the players take it really seriously now.
And if you take the one negative that I would think would be across the board, if you were to ask the average consumer about Major League Ball, is it's too expensive, whereas that's not an issue with you guys.
That's true.
So you've got all the pluses.
Yes, we
none of
do.
the minuses. We're talking to Dan Orum, the CEO and president of the San Jose Giants. Get back to him in just a moment. A big thank you to the good folks at O'Connor Hospital, part of the Verity Health Group, our sponsors. So let's hear a word from them. We'll be back with the talk of the town.
At O'Connor Hospital, we're restoring health together. Step by step, together. Because care is better together. O'Connor, together in health. At O'Connor Hospital, we're shortening your wait time. Because in an emergency, every minute counts. This is our commitment to you. O'Connor Hospital, together in health.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We're with Dan Orum from the San Jose Giants, CEO and president. Before we move off of baseball, if you've been again to Municipal Stadium, I don't know if you call it the Ring of Honor, but there are a lot of great names that have come through there.
Oh, it's
give me a
unbelievable.
couple.
Well, George Brett is the only Hall of Fame player that ever played Muni.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he played for the Royals affiliate when it was the San Jose Bees. But just the Giants alone, I mean, Madison Bumgarner, Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, all the greats have actually played. And if you look at this the last series team, it was, I think, 14 or 15 players had been from San Jose.
Now, at a time when somebody's rehabbing, and I know it's happened that they've kind of, Bumgarner pitched, didn't he?
Bumgarner pitched twice last year with us.
But they'll send him down as far as single A.
Yeah, we just had Jeff Samardzija last weekend. But
Get Carlos Stanton soon. I'll send him over to the Yankees the way it's going.
But yeah, the Bumgarner games were out of control.
That's gotta be crazy.
Out of control. The first game he pitched, though, he gave up 2 home runs in the same inning to Dodgers minor leaguer, which was a little unfortunate. But the guy, they'll make the guy's life. He'll remember that.
Absolutely.
Remember that forever.
When I'm calling it the mother team, it's not like Dan Patrick and the mothership, but when they win a World Series, I see this gaudy ring you have. Does everybody get rings?
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
No.
CEO, did you cut that deal to get a ring?
No, I was just fortunate enough, but they go pretty deep and they have various levels. Obviously, this is not quite as nice as the players' rings, but I feel very honored.
That says SL instead of SF, but still, it's a ring. It's not bad. No, I'm kidding. Okay, this is a really odd fact. You designed Oprah's website.
I did, yes.
Now, how on earth did that come to happen?
Well, I got into technology with America Online back when it first started. This could take the whole show to tell you this, but a series of events happened. I started a company that was a health company by the name of Thrive, which you may have heard of before. It was bought by America Online and then merged with another company that became Oxygen, the television station.
So that was your first $100 million.
Well, not quite, but I thought it was going to be my first $100 million. Oprah was part of Oxygen. And so by moving to that, Oprah.com became under my auspices since I was the head of internet. And
Did you meet with her to design it?
Yeah,
And
yeah. We went to Chicago quite a bit.
did she micromanage?
No. She does not micromanage. She's an amazing woman when she's on in front of an audience. There's really nothing like it.
Yeah.
I mean, she can really turn it on, and very special. But you can tell she lays it all out on the line when she's performing, because afterwards she's done.
She's done.
Yeah.
Well, you've had some interesting success with startups. Or GamePro, you were involved with that.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of different startups. GamePro was a little farther along.
Okay.
But I started a lot of sports magazines back right after I had worked for the Oakland A's. I worked for the major leagues when I was a youngster, which kind of did it backwards.
Okay.
And that led to...
When did you work with the A's?
After I came back from
France. The
I
early
was going to go
mid-eighties,
to
yeah.
sports management school at UMass Amherst, and I had the summer to burn, and the Haas family had just bought the A's from Charlie Finley.
Yeah.
So one day I just walked in and said, I'm going to sport management school in the fall. How about if I just come in and work for free? They said, okay. So I was working for the A's.
What is it about the A's? They're that Gerardo, the wonderful American stories like MC Hammer, who happened to be friends with Charlie Finley, got to go, Roger Elder or whatever.
Yeah, so I worked there. We played the Yankees for the pennant my first year. That was Billy Ball.
That was was that Jeter's year?
No.
That was
This was
when Mattingly was
This
there.
was Dave Winfield and that whole crew. So after that year, they offered me a job, and I was in the Major League Baseball.
Did you go to school?
No,
you got the job.
It was like, why did I need to go to school? I had the job.
Yes, I'll be going to Harvard. Really? Oh, yeah.
So
I think that's how Trump gets his lawyers.
It's
just
knows?
whatever. It's all. it's all on the resume.
But you just never know how things are going to unfold in life. But it was an interesting way. And then from there, I got involved in computers. Was early on doing publishing models for sports magazines, and went off and had a partner in Texas, and we launched the Cleveland Browns, Denver Broncos, the 49ers, the A's, a few others. So it was fun.
So did you work with Billy Bean?
Billy Martin.
Billy Martin.
Billy
Bean
Martin.
came later.
Yeah, I didn't really work
You
with
actually
Billy.
worked with Billy Martin. I bet you've got some stories on that.
Well, nothing probably for public television.
Well, I ran into
but
him at the horse track, and I wasn't sure if he spoke English. I mean, he was,
Yeah,
he was a little loop, but
he was an amazing baseball man.
Wow.
He did some really amazing stuff.
you know the Mickey Mantle, Billy Martin story about hunting? It's one of
sure I
the
do.
great stories. That Billy Martin and Mickey Mantle were in Minnesota somewhere. They were going to go hunting. And Mickey said to Billy, he parked the truck, he said, I'm going to go ask that farmer if we can hunt on his property. So Mantle goes up to the guy and says, hi, I'm Mickey Mantle. And the guy says, I know who you are. He says, I got Billy Martin in the car and we'd like to hunt on your property. And the guy says, delighted, I'd be honored to have you do it, but you got to do me a favor. He says, what's that? He says, I've got that old horse over there. The kids have had him for years. And I got to put him down and I don't have the heart. So if you kill the horse, you can hunt him. So Mickey goes back to the car and Billy says, what happened? He says, well, he won't let us hunt here is what happened. I'm going to go kill his horse. So he left. And Mickey says, I shoot the horse, and no sooner had it hit the ground than I hear two more gunshots. And Billy goes, let's get out of here. I just killed a couple of cows.
That's funny.
He was there during the Magic years.
He was.
And he
He
had,
was.
as you
Mickey
said.
Mantle was my favorite baseball
Me
player
as
of
well.
all time.
Yeah. Let's talk about being a single A team, or even in the minors. Do you have a general manager?
We do.
But
yes.
does he? I mean, that job has to be dramatically different than in the major
Yeah,
leagues.
it's,
because there's no trades, are there? Or
No,
can you-
all the player transactions are handled by San Francisco.
Okay.
The general manager in minor leagues works on league-related issues, scheduling, rules, umpires. But our general manager also serves as the chief operating officer. He does a lot of the sponsorship, advertising, a lot of the business things. So it's different than, say, Bobby Evans, who is 100% baseball, 24 hours a day.
Or Cashman, those guys. Yeah. Hey, the goofiest promotion you ever saw in the minor leagues?
The goofiest promotion I ever saw in the minor leagues was in Wilmington, Delaware, was a monkey on a horse that rounded up a bunch of goats in a pen.
Really?
Yes.
You gotta love a good monkey that can round them up.
This monkey was strapped to the horse and then did it within relatively, but in between innings.
And the secret was the horse knew what he was doing.
The horse knew what he was doing. The monkey was just for the fun.
I
don't think the animal rights people were very happy
I
about
used to
it.
go to a lot of SaberCat games when they played, and I used to love it. Halftime would have the strangest acts.
Oh, yeah.
There would be a guy who had a tribute to Metallica, but he'd be just him, and they'd have two dummies connected to him on the outside. And then there was a guy called, what do you call those guys that can go through small, that they can dislocate their arms and stuff?
Oh, a contortionist?
Contortionist.
Yeah.
And he would take a toilet seat, and he'd put it over his head, and
Oh, my
and
gosh.
it was just, and people are screaming, don't do this, don't do this. But they just have all and the dog races, which
yeah.
you guys have done.
We've done pretty much everything. Our biggest one is Smash for Cash, where we bring an old clunker on the field, and then the players try to break the headlights, and if they do, they get cash, and the person they're throwing for gets a prize at the merchandise. So that's been around for 30 years. Of course, the beer batter.
Tell about that.
Yeah, the beer batter, we select a player on the opposing team, and if he strikes out, it's half-price beer for the entire stadium for 15 minutes. And last year, this was great.
I love it.
Last year, Yasiel Puig
Yeah.
was rehabbing for the Dodgers. Maybe it was 2 years ago, and Sergio Romo was rehabbing for us. And we made Yasiel Puig the beer batter, and Romo struck him out, and the place went nuts. It was great.
So what's on a day-to-day basis, what's your biggest challenge?
Well, I think for me is trying to find a new home for us.
So where are you looking?
We're looking in San Jose. We don't want to move from San Jose. The reality is that we're so popular that almost any town in Northern California would take us, but it's just not convenient to leave San Jose. It's the 10th largest city in America, and it's a great place for
And if
things.
just for the sake of argument, if you ended up going further north, you might lose the Giants affiliation.
I would doubt.
I mean, can the Giants have a team in Sacramento?
They have a team.
Oh, they do? Okay.
They have the River Cats as
Okay.
a AAA affiliate. Yes. No, we're owned by the Giants.
Okay.
So
So they could be anywhere.
yeah, but because they own us, they want us to stay in San Jose.
Yeah.
So
Is there talk of renovation on the stadium?
well, we have had plans for renovation, but the problems are that it's pretty much a concrete block, and trying to get it up on the ADA levels is pretty tough to do. But we've got plans for that. We've also we looked at the fairgrounds out
Now there's
that area for a while,
a place that's open.
and we've talked to San Jose State across the street, because San Jose State plays their games at Muni as well. So we've got a few irons in the fire, but that's a big one, because Muni, as much as we love it, it really doesn't have the facilities to generate the revenue we need, and San Jose is an expensive place to put on a product. It's not like doing it in Modesto.
What you guys do under less than perfect conditions, you do better than anyone.
Thank you.
And you're to be congratulated. And I have got to tell you folks at home, if you have not gone, particularly if you have little kids, it's just the best place to go. Or if you have a monkey that wants to round up some sheep, take your monkey down there, because there's always an opening. Dan, a delight to have you here, my friend.
Thank you, Michael.
You did good, and
All right.
we got to call Rich Kelly and tell him.
Yes, remind
Nevada
him.
won that game. How many
74 to
points
70.
did you have?
I don't remember. I came off the bench, but
That's when they wouldn't have brought you in unless they needed you. That's Talk of the Town. Thanks to the good folks at O'Connor Hospital, part of Verity Health. Until next time, I'm Mike Jacobi. I'll see you soon.